This happened about a year ago in my local Walmart, and I will never forget it. Some backstory. Me and my best friend were going on a lake trip, and we decided to sleep over at my house the night before. We wanted to get some snacks for the trip, and made a late night run to the Walmart closest to my house around at 11 p.m. My side of town is a bit sketchy to say the least, and this Walmart has a particular track record of having some weird people hanging around. As we walk in, there's nothing out of the ordinary, just a few people walking around. So we start walking towards the candy and drink aisle to pick some stuff up. As we walk down the main path, I make some eye contact with this middle-aged man, and I keep walking. I have a pretty good sense of my surroundings, and I'm always cautious. So I became a little bit more aware after the eye contact, because I just got this weird feeling. But nothing too drastic, just to be on the lookout while we were here. We get to the snack aisle, and we pick up some stuff, and I see the guy again, looking at the chips. Obviously kind of weird since he was walking the opposite way when I saw him, but gave the benefit of the doubt that he forgot some snacks too. No biggie. We start making our way back up towards the register, but then I remembered that we wanted to get some peach tea. We turn into the tea aisle and start looking through the options, not really paying attention. I feel someone behind me. It was the man. My hair stands on end, and I tried to make eye contact with my friend to let her know he's there. He's standing barely 2 feet behind us, and I hastily lead us out of the aisle. At that point, I know for a fact he's targeting us. I know why we are getting tea at 11 p.m., but why are you? As we are walking away, my friend asks, "What happened?" And I told her about the eye contact and how he's been following us. I tell her we should try to lose him by walking through the clothing section to get to the registers quickly. We get to the registers, and we don't see him. We thought we were in the clear, and we stand in line behind a child and her parents. I turn to look behind me, and I see the man pacing up and down the main pathway between the registers. My heart drops as he sees us and walks directly towards us. At this point, I'm thinking in my head, what the hell do I do? The man is standing directly behind us, with about a foot in between. I say to my friend, "Let's switch registers to the one over there because it will move faster." We walk towards the other register behind this old lady and start to stand in line. He follows us to the other register. I turn to my friend and say, "Actually, let's move back to this one. It's moving slower." He follows us back to the first register. I am scared for my life because this area of town is not safe whatsoever. So a lot of ideas of what could happen races through my mind. I finally become clear-headed and think what to do to protect my friend and I from whatever this man is planning. I go up to the father of one of the children and I ask, "Can I speak to you over here for 1 second?" I stepped to the side of the register and began to tear up and explain how this man has been following us around the store, and if he could walk us to my car on the way out. He agrees, which might I add is the kindest thing I've ever heard, considering I was a complete stranger to him and he had his family with him. Immediately after the man saw me talk to the father, he walks past me and my friend and leaves. He realized that I had told the father which sabotaged whatever plan he had for us. The father asked if he still wants him to walk us to the car because the man left, and I told him, just to be safe, I think it would be a good idea. Me and my friend walk out with the father and thank him profusely. We speed the fuck home. So T.I.L. guy, let's not ever meet again. I live in a pretty safe area. Lots of nice, older people. Quiet, kind of the place snowbird retirees decide to settle down in. In other words, nothing really happens here. Yesterday evening, I decided that I wanted to go to our nicer Walmart to get some late Christmas presents for my boyfriend's family. I'm on a college budget, so I couldn't afford somewhere nicer. As it was getting darker, I brought my little sister along with me. I usually have trouble driving in the dark by myself, so I avoid doing it alone at all cost. We get into the Walmart, and as soon as we walk in, this random guy says hello to us. Nothing unusual. People are pretty friendly here, and while I didn't recognize him, it seemed plausible I might have met him before and just forgotten who he was. So I said hello back, grabbed a cart for our shopping, and didn't really think more of it. It wasn't until a bit into shopping that I realized we were being followed. We had passed by him at the first aisle we looked at, and again, it didn't seem odd. You see similar faces at Walmart a lot. It's not like gift shopping isn't a common thing. Then, we went to an area across the store, the beauty aisle, where we also happened to run into him. I was on the phone with my boyfriend's brother, asking him what would be the best gift for his mom, and he decided to speak to us. So, do y'all live here? I didn't want to answer the question, not because I thought he was trying to be creepy, but because I was on the phone. He continues to harass me while I'm talking about my name and my sister's name. I try to ignore him, pointing to my phone, but he continued his interruption anyway. I told him my first name. Maybe he was confusing me for someone he knew, and I was just impatient. Then I didn't say another word, more out of frustration than being creeped out, but I thought it must have worked, as he walked off. Key words, thought he did. As soon as I was off the phone, he tells us his name, something that starts with a V, but he mumbled it, so I'm not sure exactly what the name was. He then asked our names again, and it finally hit me that this was someone who, at the very least, didn't really understand how to talk to people. So we ignored him, grabbed what we needed, tell him it was nice to meet him, and walked away. At that point, we had what we needed, so we walked to the self-checkout area of the store. For those unfamiliar with the way self-checkout in Walmart works, you basically stand in a line outside of the area until one of the machines in the area is free. When it is, the first person in line goes to it, and the others wait until another machine is free. This guy didn't. I started to scan our stuff, and he was suddenly behind us. He didn't even have any items with him. The first theory was that he wanted to steal my money. He was way too close. I was sliding my card in the machine to pay. It made sense. He even faked a phone call when I turned around to look at him. But he cut that theory short when he looks at my little sister and asks her, "How old are you two?" I froze and slightly hoped my sister would not be foolish enough to answer the question. But she did. And with my back still facing him, he asked if I was also 15. I said no, and was going to leave it at that, but my sister decided to outright tell him my actual age. I could feel myself shaking. My sister didn't seem to understand at all how out of line he was. He stares at me when I turn to face him, and he asked me, "Would y'all like to call me sometime? It's real fun." I remember choking out a response along the lines of, "No thanks," and grabbing my sister's hand to run out of there if we had to. He had just heard she was underage and was trying to get us alone with him. To clarify, I have never met this person, ever. Neither had she. He looked to be about mid-20s in age, so he was definitely too old to try to lure a 15-year-old alone with him. As a college student, I'll probably hear worse from people, but as a young high schooler, my sister was absolutely baffled. As we were walking out of the area, I went to the manager of the store and asked for somebody to walk us out to my car. I had a dreadful feeling that our encounter would not have ended with the rejection, and by this point, it was dark outside. My car was also parked pretty far away from the entrance of the store, and if I could avoid any further chances of him following us, I was going to do that. And sure enough, as we were walking with the two employees who nicely offered to take us to my car, he slipped out and was beginning to follow us again. This time, he was about 15 feet behind us. I pointed this out to one of the employees, and when he went to look at him, he stopped following and walked the other direction. The employee walking us to my car stayed there and didn't lose sight of us until we were out of the parking lot, car doors locked. When we went home, I relayed the information to my parents, and my dad went to the store to speak to the manager about it. She claimed that while there was a police officer in the store, they couldn't locate or contact him as he was undercover and on loss prevention duty. He got frustrated and walked around the store himself, asking a few other people in the store about the guy, based on the description we gave him. He seemed to have left about 5 minutes or so after we did, and two other women told him that the guy had also tried to approach them this way, but he didn't get as far into his information digging as he did with us. And as far as legal precautions go, there isn't much we can do, as he didn't technically do anything illegal that could be proven. So yeah, Walmart stalker, let's not ever meet again.